In life, we want to prioritize what is important to us. And there are so many things that we want in life. We want money. We want relationships. We want health. We want interesting experiences. And the list of goals that we have in our life can be quite long, and they can change from period to period in our life. Obviously, the things that you want in your 20s aren't going to be the same thing that you want in your 50s. And so in life, it is a constant pursuit of achieving goals and getting the things that we want out of life. But there is one thing that is a constant, and that constant is we want to be happy. And everybody wants to be happy. And we want life to be simple. We want it to be easy. We want it to be effortless. And we want to enjoy ourselves each and every day. Now, I discovered many years ago that there are practices that allow you to be happy. In fact, I wrote a book called The Practice of Happiness. Now, notice that the book is not called The Pursuit of Happiness. Happiness is not something we pursue, it is the practice of happiness. And so what you do is you practice being happy. Now, one of the things about happiness is that there's a misconception that happiness is something that you achieve and is something that is permanent, and once you've achieved it, you forever have it. And I think that rather than look at the word happiness, we need to change it a little bit. And so rather than thinking of happiness, why don't we think of contentment? Can I be content in my life? Can I be at peace in my life? Can I be relaxed in my life? And can I practice these things day by day? And what you'll find is that if indeed happiness is the ultimate goal, and truly it is, then what you do is that you practice every day having what I call moments of happiness. Like this very moment, you can be at peace with what's happening in your life. Now, there might be many things in your life that are troubling, yet at the same time, there are many things in your life that bring you joy, that bring you pleasure. Your children, your friends, a piece of music, something that you read. Maybe this very moment, just listening to me, is calming, is relaxing, is insightful, and something is being triggered inside you where you realize this very moment I'm at peace. And so what you do is you take on the practices of happiness. And you take on the practice of loving kindness and spending time just loving other people or doing kind things, generosity. And what you notice that when you do these things is that you feel fulfilled, you feel joyful, you feel relaxed. And so it doesn't have to be complicated. And that's what happens a lot of times in our life, is that we make it too complicated. Now, one of the things that you learn in the Mind Power training and the master class is that you learn that the mind is a storyteller, that the mind tells us stories, that the mind has narratives about everything in our life. So here's a story and here's a narrative that you can begin to tell yourself. Life is simple. Life is easy. Life happens to me moment by moment. You can even have that as an affirmation. Life is simple. Life is easy. Life is something that happens to me moment by moment. And as you take on that affirmation, as you take on that narrative, as you tell yourself this over and over again, guess what? Life will become simple, life will become easy, and life will unfold moment by moment. And of course, that's the way it works. So don't overcomplicate it. That what you do is very simply embrace your life each day as a separate, unique day that is an amazing journey, a journey that you will never, ever experience again. And you appreciate it. And you look for things to be joyful about. And you stop and you allow inner peace to enter into you. And you look for ways to be kind for other people. And you notice that when I'm kind with other people, when I compliment them or maybe help them in some way, you notice how good this makes me feel. And then you realize, I should do this more often. And you do it more often. And you take on these practices. And as you take on these practices of living life, moment by moment, experience by experience, day by day, you realize that the real treasure in life is inner peace, contentment, loving kindness. And you can do these things each and every day. This is the journey and path to happiness and a happy and successful life.
Very nice.
All right. Wasn't that awesome? All right, here we go. Yeah, that was really awesome. That's John Kehoe. He wrote the book called Mind Power. That's amazing. And yeah, Tom Speed turned me on to that in one of the conferences calls that he did. And I've been following his stuff ever since. And he's really a master in all of that. And you guys can unmute yourselves if you like. I found the mute all button, which is a good thing. But yeah, one thing I learned from that is we all want really is life to be easy, life to be happy and effortless, and we want to enjoy ourselves every day. That's really all we're doing, and that's key. And we all make things too complicated because it's all comes down to being that simple, you know. Life is simple, life is easy, and life happens to me moment by moment. That's just key there. So I love that. And then the idea of looking for things every day that make you joyful and happy. And to be kind every day and notice how good that makes you feel. That's something I'm going to start practicing. That's amazing. So you're being kind and then you're noticing how good you feel about that. And everything is just about inner peace and loving and kindness. That's cool. So awesome. So good morning. How is everybody?
Okay.
Great. How you doing, Eugene?
Hello.
Ah. Is that your guitar?
Yeah.
Did you go and see the movie?
No.
No. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we have to share some music at some point too, for sure. And thanks for that NFT stuff. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look into getting music onto the blockchain. There was some courses there that were awesome.
Because
Cool.
even if you do you know what I mean? Even if you do it at a low price at the start and then just increase it as you go along, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just to get familiar with how
Yeah.
it works and what it
And
is.
it'll
and
get
then-
your name out there as well.
Yeah, I think it is the future, and seeing what others are doing right now, and so it's cool. I think everything's going to be on the blockchain in the future. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
I think Mark needs to get sleep. Jesus Christ. He did not look good last night. He didn't look well.
I did see it, but I will watch it though. That's cool. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Delores. Awesome to see you guys. That's cool. I'll share a success from yesterday, which is really cool. In one of my groups that I've been a member of online, for Facebook groups for quite a while, someone made a comment about, I even forget, they have a sore leg. They had a sore leg or a sore knee or something. So that's all I did was answer that comment saying, hey, I'm trying the stem cell patch that works really well. Maybe it'll work for you. Send me a private message. In that post, in the group, right? I didn't say anything more than that. I just responded to a question from somebody else. You know what? I've gotten 6 responses from that, direct messages to me. And I'm connected with three of those 6 already that want more information. And it was as simple as that, and I think the key point was, I've got something I've tried that's working for me, and you could even go into a little bit of a detail. This is what it's done. So I think it might work for you. And then the idea is, if that post goes in there, it's not really for the person that asked the question. It's for all the hundreds of other people that are going to read the post and say, hey, what's he talking about? And I've done that a few times, and it always seems to work.
Yeah, as long as you don't drop a link, then they'll allow.
Yeah, no link. Just say, hey, send me a direct message for more info. Yeah, and that can be done in any group. I'm in some Los Cabos groups, that are always asking questions about where's the best tacos. It's crazy. Where's this? What should I do in this case and all that? But people do post same things like that. I need to go. Some people come down here for stem cell injections.
All right.
And they're like $15,000, for one injection. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I'll respond to that. Hey, you might want to, I've tried, no, not, you may, I've tried, this is what I've tried and it worked for me, it's cleared up my sore joints and maybe it'll work for you. And that's it, and then you see who's going to respond to you. So that's a success from yesterday. So now I'm in, and I took all those people, and what I do is just copy and paste their names, from the message that they sent me.
Yeah.
Because in the group I have all these messages, 6 messages. I'll copy and paste their name, put it in the spreadsheet. I think that's the key and the important thing too. Now I know which people didn't respond, or now I know, because I opened up the message conversation with, hey, yeah, I'll send you more information. And then what I try to do is I'm not answering in the chat anymore. I say, connect with me privately on Messenger or send me an email, and then I'll send you the information. So even then, I'm not sending them a link. I'm waiting to connect off of whatever it is you're on into an email or a Facebook Messenger. So I'll send them my Facebook Messenger link that connects me directly with Facebook Messenger, or a phone number or an email or something, so they connect with me and we get them off of that chat and onto a real chat. So I'll take all their names, put it in a spreadsheet, and then follow up with them, see how many have responded to that, how many sent me their contact information, and then go from there. Because otherwise, if you don't put it in there, it just, for me, it's just lost and never gets followed up on. So
What messenger link do you put in there?
What's that, Tamara?
What messenger link do you put in there?
You can, when you've got your messenger account or whatever, there's a link to that. I forget where to find it. Maybe somebody knows, but you can find your actual link to Messenger. It's just a URL, and I use that in my contact information. So somebody can click on that, and then it takes them directly to my Messenger account. They can click on my Facebook personal page. It takes them directly to personal page. Then they can send me a message from there, or they can friend me there. And I give them as many ways as I can. I'll send them my phone number in case they want to connect with me on WhatsApp. I'll send them my email address. They can send it by email. I'll accept, what else? So sometimes I limit it because I can connect them with Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever. I'll just choose which ones, but those are always the main ones, Facebook Messenger. So yeah, if anyone knows, I forget how to do that, but there's a way to go in and find your Messenger link. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where to find it in that. I was just wondering what you did, because a lot of people don't know that all they have to do is click on your picture and it'll go to your profile and then send a message from there.
But if you send them the link saying, hey, connect with me on Messenger, then that's all they have to do is click.
Right.
And then they're connected right to your Messenger. Yeah. And that works well too, because I find most communications happen on social media now. You know, not by phone, not by email, by social media.
Well, then call you directly from Messenger. So
Yeah, exactly. And the nice thing about that is then we can video chat, and that's what I prefer, to get people into a video chat so that we really connect with them at that point. You know, that's cool. How you doing, Delores?
I'm trying to keep up with myself is what I'm trying to do.
Right. You still in the middle of a move, or?
I've emptied out one home. I'm in the process of emptying out another home. And Monday, some of us are driving across country, and then I'm going across country on Wednesday with somebody with truckloads of stuff. So
Yeah. Wow.
moving, it's a real headache.
I was going to say, I think all of us know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I used to, up until I've been here in Cabo, I think I've moved at least once a year for the last 20 years, or
Yeah.
I forget, I added it
I
up.
had 55 years of a marriage, you know, and kids and everything in one house last year. And along with, you know, we had a second home, and we also had a motorhome that we would go south in. So it's like having 3 homes that I had to get rid of all of a sudden. But I work with a lot of needy people, so I had a lot of free garage sales.
Yeah, that's the hard thing too, is getting rid of what you don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And making the decision as to what to keep and what not to keep. And
And then I think the important thing here is trying to fit in a little bit of time to do some work,
yeah,
you know,
well,
by all these distractions.
that's my positive in life of, you know, thinking about, well, and I must say that I lost my stem cells, my life wave stem cells, in the process of going and staying in the other house for about 4 or 5 days. And when your body needs them so bad, as depends on them so much for a period of time, and then you come down from them, it was like, it really was as bad as coming off some of the medication that
Wow.
I really got, so I could hardly move. And, you know, there's a lot that goes into it because of the stress. And I'm not having to pick up and carry things because I have people that are doing that but being there and making those decisions. But physically I got pretty down, and when I couldn't happen to find a sleeve of Ice Wave down between the seat of the car you know, you lose everything between the, you know, the console and your seat.
Wow.
And
And
just found those the other day, I'm beginning to stand up straight again. So
Wow. And you find you're using the X39 every day, or you're missing some
I
days?
use the X39 every day on the top of my spine, and I use the Ice Wave patches on my lower spine. And I also put Ice Wave patches on my right shoulder. I ruined my rotator cuff and have had surgery, ruined that playing competitive tennis for years.
Mhm.
And when I don't have those now, I can get really stiff and sore. And especially I'll wind up sitting and working on the computer with everything that we're doing. And sitting's not good for any of that. So
Wow, wow, that's amazing. And that's amazing that
yeah, it is.
you can experience that in real time firsthand,
Yeah,
you
I,
know? And so what you're saying is you think that because you need more stem cells, it's kind of draining what the patches can provide?
well, you know, so many people think that if they use them a couple days that they're going to heal themselves. And if you've got some pain or problems, yeah, I might go a day or two without them at the most after I elevate them good and get them started
Wow.
activating again. At my age, they're sound asleep.
Wow.
So
Yeah, because that was always a question of mine. Why every day? And I think we need it every day, right? For me, I find
yeah,
it, if I miss a couple days, it's no big deal. But
I think
that's
it
an
depends
interesting
on
thought, though.
age.
If you require
Yeah,
more, you're gonna need more.
I think it depends on age from what I'm seeing with people. You can elevate them, you know, their logo is stimulate, elevate, and then regenerate. And that to me is a 3-step process. I can see that with
Right.
severe pain levels or surgeries or real severe injuries all of a sudden that people have, car accidents. I must also say that I take off when I take my X39 off, I do with, I must admit that I do a lot of falling on my knees because when I'm active like this, trying to get a lot done and get my knees scuffed up, and I'll stick my X39 that I've used, you know, the 12 or sometimes I use them 24 hours, it depends. But if I can, and someone said, hold them on again with a Band-Aid, that gave me the idea. But
Yeah.
I was using them and putting them on some sores or little, I have eczema on my legs from all the sun. I spend a lot of time out in the sun like you probably do.
I do, yes.
At your age. And
Yeah.
I developed eczema over time.
So you find if you're putting it right on the area where you've got a problem with skin or whatever, it like
Yeah.
it's right on the localized area.
It will heal it quickly.
Wow, wow. I've noticed that too, actually.
It
with some-
really will heal it quicker because I know how
Wow.
slowly I heal at my age anymore.
Wow.
And I'm real pleased with being able to do that.
Wow. Yeah, that's great news. I've experienced that too because I pulled my shoulder out 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
It popped back in. I'd never experienced
Oh,
that
that's
before.
good.
Maybe
That's
you
not
have.
any fun.
Yeah, but then I was kind of worried because I didn't really go and see anybody about it. But it was healed in 2 days. And so
Oh,
3
way
weeks
to go.
I can
Oh, yeah.
I can feel that pain right there. But look,
Yeah.
that motion, like that's 3 weeks. There's some pain right there. But
Yeah.
3 weeks later, I don't know. I've never experienced it, so I don't know how normally it takes to heal.
Yeah.
And I'm almost 100% sure that's because of the stem cell patch.
And if you don't use them anymore, those stem cells are in that area will die down, and the areas you've injured are the areas that seem to they must die down quicker, because that's I've had surgery on my shoulder, and I know I've gotten arthritis back in it, and once it starts being difficult, your muscle clear down to my elbow will start hurting. The ice wave patches will cover that whole area. But the X39 will just work on a specific area for some reason. I
Wow.
find a difference, and I learned that with the Canadian that does most of the reports. What his name is, David
Jumper?
Jumper. Yes, he talked about how he used the ice wave patches. He and his wife were in a car wreck. I believe it was just
Oh,
before they got married,
I
or
remember
just
that story.
after. And he said he used them for 2 days and put them right next to the spine. And, you can radiate out from there depending on how far the injury, the pain seems to go.
Wow.
But if I don't keep them on my lower spine, I notice within 2 days, I start bothering me again. So I take them off and rest them that night, and then put them on the next
Put a new
day.
one on, right?
Yeah.
Put a new one on. Yeah. Wow. And so you find that's the main location for you?
And I have, well, yes, I have 4 rods in my back and the lower back, between the thoracic and the lumbar, and also the S areas. What do they call it? Sacroiliac areas.
Wow.
So.
And
I was
so
around-
where do you exactly put it? Just on your lower back?
My lower back, because that's where my biggest problem is.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it'll affect clear over into my hips and how well I can walk or try to stand. I have severe numbness all the way down both legs after
Wow.
the first spine surgery I had 8 years ago.
Wow.
I was in a car wreck when I was younger, and I think it just finally caught up with me.
Wow, for sure. And do
We
you
all
put it?
go through so much in life.
That's crazy.
And it
Do you
starts
put it on
catching up with you.
Do you put it on a specific spot that you found out, or that you use all the time, or you just put it anywhere?
Those ice waves on my lower back, I use all the time, because that pain will, all of that area affects how my hips even feel. Now, sometimes I put included an X39 on a spot on my hip, just depending on what's going on.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Along with the ice waves.
Well, and I
keep
think
those
what
handy.
I'm getting at is does it have to be an exact spot, or it could be
No.
generally?
Generally,
Okay.
I try to feel around and find where the spot that hurts me the worst.
Right.
And
spot.
that's
right
where
there.
you put the brown one.
Yeah.
And then I know it's radiating up and down there, but he said to keep them kind of, I've
True.
tried moving it in the clockwise, and I find it just works better keeping it maybe like at the 6 o'clock relative to where the brown one is, and close to the spine. And I don't know, it helps when all my nerve problems, they come through your spinal cord anyway. So to me, putting them close to the spine is where you need it, and it helps.
Right.
stimulate those stem cells.
Right. And that's for the pain patches you're talking about specifically,
Yes.
right? Because X39 is always, you're saying you can move that around to wherever you feel you
Yeah,
need it most.
You can put it on certain, I know David Schmidt has indicated many times, just put it on the spot that hurts.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's great advice. Wow. And that's great
And,
firsthand experience.
you know,
Wow. Crazy.
I'm spending more time using them myself and learning um, all the different ones.
Yeah, we got to help other people, right? It's kind of our duty. Get out
Right.
there and help others that are experiencing issues. Wow. Okay, we got about 5 minutes. Anyone else have something to share? Specifically about maybe some successes this week? If not, the product, talking about the products are always amazing, right?
Well,
How long will it take you to get settled, Delores?
I should get everything moved in after getting there this week. I get things settled within a week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because that's kind of what we talked about yesterday with Tom. Tom is like calling in from work. He's working on a project and he's listening to the Zoom and he's making follow-up calls and he's doing live TikToks all while he's working. You know, it's kind of,
yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, do it while you're young and you can do it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
mm,
yeah, and you know, hopefully the product's going to keep us younger longer. And I think they will. I feel it.
I definitely feel that way because I know how I felt just in the last 5 days when I couldn't find my crazy ice wave patches. And I knew I couldn't have them sitting here because I have mail that I'm starting to have forwarded, and you know, I wouldn't be here to receive them, and if I didn't forward them, you know, I wouldn't have them when I got there. So
Mhm.
it's one of those times of the years where life gets in the way of a lot of things, but I'll get settled back in.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of people that are using them, and they're going to start, they're convinced. It's taking people my age and even your younger ages. People think that if they use something like that and they feel better, that they've been healed. And then they don't use it and they say, hey, you know, I thought this was supposed to, no, you know, the idea is it's your body has to, you're activating your body to do the work.
That's a good point.
You're
Activating
not
your
using-
body to do the work,
Yeah,
and you're kind of signaling it, whatever. Just, I really like that video that with David Schmidt that explained all the research that he did over
Yes.
10 years. You know, how the crystals work and how
Right.
he came up with the ideas and all the things that he's tried and the millions of dollars that were spent researching, and that's amazing. So it's, yeah, that's what he was mentioning. It's activating your body to do the work.
and
Yeah.
people seem to understand when you tell them how, okay, you know, melatonin, it's, oh, what I'm trying to say is when you're the sun rays, and that's what the crystals are related to. They work with specific organic rays of light are stimulated through the warmth of your body. And that's exactly what you do when you go out in the sun and you elevate vitamin D in your body by
Right.
being out in the sun. They seem to understand that a little bit, but how you can do everything else, and how you can put it in a little patch, and it's
Mhm.
not a chemical that's going into your body. It's so new to everyone, getting away from chemicals. And
Yes.
okay, what chemicals did he use? I've had that say to put into it. I said, no, it's all organic, produced. And you think of how your trees can live hundreds of years. Think of how animals can live hundreds of years. That's what they're doing. They're living off of the organic environment that they live in, that's
Right.
helping their body function and grow, or, you know.
And they're all feeding off the sunlight, animals, plants,
Yes.
everything, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's hard for everyone to believe that this little patch can do anything, you know, but I think
Yeah, for a long period of time.
our minds are changing about it, and the minds are changing based on people's experiences and results. Then you start to think, hey, wow, this is when you start to see so many people and experiencing results. It's amazing. Because
And-
what I've noticed, Dolores, is your speech has gotten way better. Some days it's different, but right now it's great.
Yes,
know?
and it depends. I've found that the Eon patch works much better than the Nirvana. I use the Eon patch. I use that, you know, just below the belly button.
Right. Yeah, I just
So,
started using the Eon patch about a week ago too. So
it works with inflammation. It works on mood stabilizing, and inflammation, you know, as especially when you have injuries, is exactly what you need to have worked on. So I put all those together.
yeah. And how long do you find it, you know, trying a new patch before you experience what it's doing? Is it like immediately? Is it a day? Is it like weeks?
It's kind of slow, like most people have said, within sometimes, especially with pain, I'll notice it within the hour. I'll say, oh, that
Wow.
pain is, I can lift that shoulder and do a little more right now. And by the end of the day, you realize you've done an awful lot more than, you know, without that pain hitting you.
Yeah, getting worse. And also what we don't realize is, you know, you're doing a move and all that stuff. If your mind is occupied but with all this stuff, that's draining on your body. It's sucking a lot of energy out, and that's, so even doing something different like you're doing is an amazing change on your body. How you doing, Brian? Haven't seen you in a while. You're still on mute.
Yeah, doing pretty good.
Yeah, awesome. You look like you're on
Can
the
you guys hear me?
You look like you're on the moon there. Yeah, we can hear you.
I feel like it. I talked to someone about LifeWave, and they were already promoting it. And I was wondering, had anybody else seen this testimonial? She had a testimony in one of her emails where a kid got his finger caught on the door, and it cut the tip of his finger off.
Oh,
And the doctors were refusing to reattach it because they said it was just going to fall off and die.
wow.
And the email went on to say that the father insisted that they reattach it, and he used the X39, and it grew back. It took life again, and it's whole. And they showed a picture before and after, and it was amazing. And I was wondering, did anyone else see that story?
No, didn't see that. If you can find it, just post a link in our group, in our messenger group, and if I see the link, I'll post it in the video, this video.
I thought that one was powerful.
Wow, that
Reading
is
the
really
story,
powerful.
I'm going to see if I can find any more information.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We could start sharing more stuff that we find, because it is kind of hard to find stuff. And when you find it, like that David Schmidt thing I was talking about, it's only a 4-minute video and it's very powerful. So yeah, I will post that link too. I'll look for it, and because it's good to share that kind of stuff, because that's super powerful. Wow. We've got our 2-minute warning. Anybody else got something they have to say? That's awesome. How you been doing, Brian? Good?
Been doing pretty good.
Okay.
Just got a lot going on with my kid. My day usually starts at 4:30 in the morning. I usually get home around 10. So
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
it's been long days.
Yeah.
So football season is over and basketball starts today. So maybe I'll get a little break.
Do you work, Brian? Yes.
What's that,
Say that
Eugene?
again?
Does Brian work during the day?
Yeah, man. I'm in IT.
All right.
I work for a healthcare company.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Yeah, we were talking yesterday about, you know, how do we find time to work the business, you know, when we've got all this stuff
So-
going on.
It's hard, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Figure
what we
it
were
out.
talking about, we're down to a minute, so we'll wrap things up. But yeah, maybe tomorrow we can talk about that again because it's so important. How do we fit in our hour or our time? Is it between everything or is it just blocked out? Which is, they're both difficult, but
Gotcha.
that's the most important thing. Where do we find the time to actually get the work done? But anyway, less than a minute, which means it could be 10 seconds.
all right.
So that was awesome,
Bye.
Dolores. Great sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That,
Yes,
you
thanks,
know,
Doris.
Good to
life
see
stories, that
everyone.
means so much to everybody. So
Good, Brian, to share that testimonial if you can find it. that'd be
Yes.
cool. It's a different one.
All
yeah,
right, I'll find it and get it to you.
yeah, find that and share that, and whatever we can share is awesome. So cool, awesome. Have an awesome day.
All right.
Be
Bye.
productive.
Get it, guys.
Yeah.
We'll
Bye,
see you all.
Jan.
We'll see. Bye.